Hi, I'm Mr. Brown, and welcome to Willis Open House for beginning photography and beginning web design. I'd like to start off with photography. Photography, we break it up into semesters. The first semester, we go over learning about kind of some history of photography. The students will do projects and presentations on famous photographers, where they pick a photographer to learn more about and do a small little presentation that they prepare and give to the class so that the class can learn about and see lots of different styles of photography as well as famous photographers. We go into learning about cameras, different types of cameras, the different parts of the camera, and then we go into actual photography, learning how to take pictures, the elements of a good picture, and exposure, and all of those wonderful things. Along with that, we do a lot with composition, and as it cools off outside, the students will be able to go out with the cameras that we have here at school, and they'll be able to use a lot of the things that we've learned in class to take their pictures and to try them out and see how they do. Some of those things, as you see, we learn about the rules of thirds and entry, exit, and simplicity and points of view, walking around, getting different angles and points of view. There's lots of different types of composition that we learn about, and then the students will have the opportunity, as I said, to go out and take pictures of their own. And I also encourage them to do that at home as well, whether it's with a phone or a camera. They can still work on composition techniques throughout the year. The second half of the year, second semester, we do a lot with Photoshop. Let me just tell you this, the students have a pretty neat opportunity because the district, with the license that the district bought, those licenses work at school here, but it also works at home. So the students are able to download Photoshop on a computer at home with their student ID and login, and they can use Photoshop on a computer at home if the computer can run and sustain Photoshop, which is kind of nice. It doesn't cost a lot. I believe a student license is about $19, $20, but they have the opportunity to get it for free while they're in my class this year. So what we go over a lot of different things in Photoshop. The main thing that we go over are selection tools and all the different ways that you can select with layers and masks and all the different selection tools so that we can do some cool things to the photographs, like fix and color correct and take from one picture and put into another and merge pictures together. So students usually have a lot of fun with that, and they're still working with pictures and the cameras outside, so they have the ability to go take pictures outside and bring them in and put them on their pictures at school. Web design is the other class I teach. It's a web design coding class, and so again, the first semester of that, we do web design, we use HTML, we do some code.org, but a lot of it is handwritten. We use Notepad++, and we learn HTML and CSS, the elements, what it takes to have a good website. We do multi-page navigation and all those things that make a good simplistic web design. We don't get into a whole lot of the dynamic web pages just because of time, but they will come out learning, being able to hand code a good quality static web page. Then we go in second semester to coding, and what we do is we learn a lot about the different variables. We use code.org, and it's JavaScript, and we use a lot with variables, sprites. We put different sprites on, and they're able to move the sprites and do things with the sprites. As you see, the booleans, conditionals, velocity, collisions, and at the end of the semester, hopefully, if all goes well, the students will create a game on their own that they will be able to play. And it's block coding for the most part, but they do have the opportunity to change it to hand coding and typing in the actual codes, and they can switch back and forth. So I encourage you, they have this opportunity at home. They can get to code.org from any computer as long as it's on the internet. So if you have a chance and can pull it up and say, hey, show me what you're doing, I highly encourage you to do that, and hopefully see what they're doing and encourage them along the way. With both classes, we do learn some Web 2.0 tools. Obviously, Google Drive, Google Classroom, we've been spending a lot of time on the past year or two. We will continue to use those. I will continue to post things on Google Classroom, so all assignments, everything will be posted on Google Classroom so you can see and they can see as well. We do go over some other things. We do have a class for photography. We have a class Instagram account, which is Willis Firebird Photography, and students have an opportunity to email me pictures through a Gmail account that they want to put up, and then I take some of the best ones and throw them up on the Instagram account so people can see what we're doing in class. So that's it. I hope I answered some of your questions. If you have any more questions, please feel free to email me or give me a call here at school. I appreciate your time, and thanks for having your kids in my class.